There you go. Okay, so today we're going to be doing a lesson and it's called multi-step problems using addition and subtraction. And it looks hard, but it's really a combination between understanding the wording in math and then doing a little bit of math. It's not hard math, but you have to understand the words. So let's take a look at this example together. It says, and you can look in your math workbook if you want to look in your math workbook. Taylor had 250 baseball cards in his collection, and he buys 168 more. What's my math action word in just that first line? What's my math action word? Chris? Well, not yet, because it doesn't say add yet. Just in that first sentence, what's my math action word?
More.
More, very good. And so more tells me that I'm going to add, good. So Taylor has 250 baseball cards in his collection. He buys 168 more cards. Then he sells 57 cards to a friend. So we started with 250. He buys 168 more. What am I going to do first? Yes.
You're going to add 250 plus 168.
Very good. And then the next sentence it says, then he sells 57 cards to a friend. And so if he sells, that's my math action word that tells me I'm going to what?
Subtract.
Subtract. Very good. So he's going to subtract 57. How many baseball cards does he have now? So all I did was do one addition problem and one subtraction problem. So let C represent the total number of cards. That's the end result. That's the how many does he have now in his collection. So first you added 250 and 168 and came up with 418. Then you took 418 and you subtracted those ones that he sold to a friend. Are you with me? You subtracted that and came up with 361. So I will go back to my original question and I look to see if I've answered that question. Taylor now have in his collection, how many does he have? He now has 361. So was it easy multiplication?
Yes.
Not multiplication, I didn't say multiplication. Was it easy addition and subtraction?
Yes.
Yes, it was easy addition and subtraction. But we do have to write down the number sentences because they're going to give us the statement and we have to write down what the equation is going to look like. Honey, we don't need headphones on right now. Thank you. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Look at number 1. We're going to do these ones together. I forgot to bring my mouse. All right, let's take a look at these together. So equation is something that's a number sentence that has what in it? It has something important and it sounds like equation. The word is, equation has it's a math sentence that has what in it?
Symbol?
It has what kind of symbol? It's a math symbol. Equation. It sounds like the symbol.
Equal?
It has an equal sign. So remember we learned expressions earlier where we had a variable like a letter that represented a number and we added it to a number and we had to solve the expression but they didn't always have equal signs. Well, equations have equal signs, so I need to write something that has an equal sign. So it says write an equation to represent 15 plus 21 plus a number equals 42. What's a number going to be? That's going to be a
42.
What's a number? It says 15 plus 21 plus a number. That's going to be what? Equals 42. So they want that to be, what does a number represent?
6.
It's not, we're not going to do the math yet. I want you to say, when you're writing the expression, what does a number mean? They want you to write a letter, which is called a word that starts with a V. It's called a variable. Very good. So when I go to write this, I write 15 plus 21 plus, what letter do we want to use?
EX. L.
You said EX.
E.
different than my plus sign. So 15 plus 21 plus x equals 42. So if I look up at the directions, I'm going to move this just a little bit. It didn't say. Okay, it just says write an equation. Does it say solve the equation?
No.
No. So all I had to do was write that. Could you solve the equation?
Yes.
Okay, let's look at that together. How would we solve that problem? How would we find out what x is equal to? Audrey.
You add 15 plus 21, and then you can subtract 42.
Very good. Let's do it first. 15 plus 21. 5 plus 1?
6.
1 plus 2?
3.
3. And then I subtract that from 42, which is on this side of my equation, and it becomes 12 minus 6 is 6. And so x is equal to
6.
6. I think we have said that at the beginning because you
Yeah.
solved it already.
Yeah.
Does everybody see how we did that?
Yes.
So for 1, 2, and 3, they don't want you to actually solve it. They just want you to write the equations. We're going to do those together. We'll go back and solve them.
Hold still, and it'll go better.
We're not going to sharpen our pencils during instruction. And then we're going to go down to find the value means solve. The word, when it says find the value, we're going to solve for what the variable is. So let's take a look at the second one. Is everybody ready to go on to number 2?
Yes.
All right. It says write an equation to represent 280 is the first thing I'm going to do is write that down. Write that down. 280. We're writing it down on number 2 on the line. So it says 280 minus 137. So I'm going to write 100 minus 137 plus a number. What letter are we going to make that, Ari?
An X.
She wants to make it an X too. All right, we'll make it an X. And minus 137 plus X, because that's the a number, equals 189. So you only have to write the equation. Does it seem pretty easy to write these equations?
Yes.
Not hard?
Really easy.
Okay. So let's take a look at number 3. Again, we're just going to write the equation. Write an equation to represent 145 minus 98 plus a number. What's a number going to be?
A.
A. She wants to make it A. I'm going to write it in as a cursive A so you can kind of see. A number equals 53. If we wanted to solve for these equations, we would then isolate the variable, which means put it by itself. If I say isolate, you put it by itself. Variable is the letter. We're going to put the variable by itself and we're going to see what it means. We're going to see what it is. So I go back to over here and I think the first step I'm going to do is subtract. So read, what's 280 minus 37? Or 137? Can I subtract from the 0? It's my next step.
47.
Cross out the 8.
Oh, 147.
Just take it step by step. Cross out the 8,
Oh.
make it a
Not a 7.
7. This becomes a
Wait, what number is it?
0.
Oh, it becomes a 1.
It becomes a 10 because I'm bringing 1 over to the 0. So 10 minus 7,
3.
3. 7 minus 3,
6. 4.
4. And 2 minus 1.
1.
So the first part I have is 143. So now I have 143 plus x equals 189. So now I'm going to what in order to solve for x? Ari.
You're going to subtract 189 minus 143.
Very good. So we're going to subtract 189 minus 143. Ari, what's 9 minus 3?
6.
8 minus 4?
4.
And my answer is
46.
46. And so x is equal to 46. Does everybody see how we solved those problems? We just took the little bit of math, we did the addition first, then the subtraction, and then you subtracted what your answer was from your answer to come up with what your variable is. Yes?
Do you have to add the numbers up, or do you just...
Okay, so yes, you need to know how, because these next problems you're going to have to solve for those numbers. So actually they aren't, they're just all adding, so you're lucky. We need to know how to solve for those problems, but yes, you would have to add or subtract. That's what the whole, we're using adding and subtracting to figure it out. The part where it says multi-step, the word multi means more than one. We're going to have more than one step to solve this. So if you only add one part, then you're only getting half the answer. All right, let's go ahead and look at the next three. So the next three are solving for the value of the variable. Notice that they're all just addition or subtraction. Can you add three numbers together at once?
Yeah.
Yes. Is there another strategy besides adding them all together at once?
Yes.
What's another strategy? Tatum.
You say, for instance, you add 25 plus 49, and then you get your answer, and then you put 77 plus the answer that you have, and then the answer.
Very good. So you could use, what is that called when I take two numbers and I add them together and I put parentheses around them? It might look more familiar if it looks like this. What is that property called, Aiden?
Commutative?
It's not called commutative. It kind of is commutative because we're just ordering them in different orders. But what is it called when I put parentheses around it to change the order? Yes. Associative or commutative. If I put parentheses around it, you know, I could put parentheses around this part or this part to show you that it's associative. I could change the order and it can be commutative. So both of those are the properties of addition that allow us to do that. So let's add those up and answer questions 4, 5, and 6. And raise your hand when you finish them and we will do those together. You finished them already?